Greetings, I'm Betty, 40 years of age. Allow me to recount an experience and elaborate on how I adeptly navigated through it, being someone not easily misled. In contrast to many narratives shared here, my relationship with my mother-in-law was initially robust before its sudden unraveling. Remarkably, our interactions were consistently positive, smooth, warm, and characterized by mutual respect. My husband, Jonathan, was my romantic partner, confidant, and closest companion. Our life together appeared flawless, devoid of delusions or overlooked warning signs. Though we engaged in typical family disagreements, there was no indication of imminent problems. Therefore, the revelation of an astonishing tale was both unexpected and jarring. I'll recount the events that transpired and elucidate the reasons behind my decision to seek retribution against Jonathan and my mother-in-law for their actions. I had organized something special, an initially planned family vacation for Jonathan and me. However, considering Cynthia, who had been widowed for 5 years and likely felt isolated, I chose to include her. I funded the entire trip, covering accommodations, meals, and activities, with Jonathan and Cynthia contributing as they deemed appropriate. Essentially, I bore the financial burden. The concept was to treat them to a unique vacation in Italy, exploring Via Toledo's Naples' vibrant streets, relishing tapas, and enjoying the Mediterranean sunshine. I envisioned forging lasting memories and deepening our familial bonds. When I proposed the idea, both of them expressed genuine enthusiasm. I meticulously orchestrated every aspect, from securing a charming boutique hotel with a breathtaking coastal view to arranging an exhilarating flamenco dance performance. Anticipation hung in the air as I eagerly looked forward to surprising Cynthia and Jonathan with this grand adventure. Little did I realize that the unfolding events would shake the foundation of my trust and dismantle the illusion of our seemingly perfect existence. I was on the verge of embarking on a journey that would forever alter my perception of family loyalty and reveal the depths of human deceit. But let's not hasten forward, dear readers. Allow me to transport you back to that crucial day, the day when our dreams of Italy were still brimming with hope and promise. In the living room, I stood, tightly clutching the plane tickets, a smile stretching across my face. Jonathan and Cynthia gathered around me, their faces reflecting curiosity and puzzlement. Cynthia, with eyes that held centuries of wisdom, tilted her head ever so slightly. With a dramatic gesture, I presented the tickets and unveiled my elaborate plans for the upcoming Italy escapade that lay before us. Studying their reactions intently, I yearned to witness expressions of joy and gratitude reflected in their eyes. Jonathan's countenance immediately brightened, his eyes gleaming with anticipation. "Betty, you're truly remarkable. I can't wait for this incredible journey," he exclaimed. Cynthia donned a gentler smile, her gaze locking with mine. "Oh, my dear Betty, you've truly surpassed yourself. This is an invaluable gift. I'm profoundly touched." At that moment, my heart swelled with pride and satisfaction. Their responses affirmed the love and dedication I had invested in orchestrating this surprise. I had envisioned this vacation as the adhesive that would strengthen our bond further, forging indelible memories and fortifying the already seemingly unbreakable ties. However, as you may have anticipated, this narrative takes a perilous turn. Beneath the veneer of our ostensibly perfect relationship, a complex network of deception and betrayal lay in ambush, poised to entangle us all. When the truth unfurled, it would challenge the boundaries of forgiveness and question the very essence of familial connections. As scheduled, we boarded the plane and commenced our 10-day sojourn. The excitement was tangible as we immersed ourselves in the vibrant streets and intricate tapestry of Italy culture. For the initial week, everything unfolded seamlessly according to plan. We relished the flavors of paella, explored historical landmarks, and surrendered to the enchanting rhythms of flamenco on lively nights. Laughter and delight permeated the atmosphere, and I reveled in the conviction that our bond was unshakable. Little did I anticipate that a tempest was brewing on the horizon, poised to unleash its fury upon my unsuspecting heart. It happened on a pivotal Monday morning, bathed in the city's golden hues, when I awoke to discover an empty hotel room. Confusion and a burgeoning sense of unease took hold of me. Frantically, I grasped for the phone, dialing both my husband's and Cynthia's numbers in hopes of an explanation. To my dismay, their phones remained eerily silent, their voices nowhere to be heard. Fear began to gnaw at the edges of my mind as I scoured the vacant room for any indication of their presence. No notes, no bags, no signs of disturbance or struggle, just an unsettling silence lingering heavily in the air. It appeared as though I had reserved this family unit for myself alone. As minutes stretched into an eternity, a barrage of questions flooded my thoughts. Had they lost their way? Had they been forcibly taken? Yet the absence of any tangible evidence dismissed these possibilities, and a shiver ran down my spine as I reluctantly embraced the truth. Alone in an unfamiliar land, I faced the looming threat of despair when, unexpectedly, a glimmer of hope pierced through the darkness. My phone buzzed, indicating an incoming call. It was Cynthia. Relief swept over me, but it was quickly mingled with confusion and a profound sense of hurt. How could she vanish without a word? With trepidation, I answered the call, my voice a mix of concern and disbelief. "Cynthia, where are you? What happened?" Cynthia's voice, tinged with an unusual blend of resignation and frustration, reached my ears, yet it lacked the warmth of the sweet lady I had always known. Instead, it sounded colder. "Betty, considering the numerous calls you made to my phone, I felt it was only fair to return your call. I apologize for disturbing you. I was simply curious about your whereabouts. Your bags were not here, and I became worried that something unpleasant had occurred." Her next words, delivered with an unsettling indifference, shook me to my core. "We left you. But why? What happened?" "I couldn't endure spending another week in your company, so I chose to leave." "Did I do something wrong?" "Yes. How could you be so oblivious?" "Oblivious? Excuse me. You sprung this trip on me, practically coercing me to join. I could no longer feign sincerity. Let me be clear, Betty. I don't enjoy your company. Perhaps we can tolerate a few hours together at a family event, but 10 days? I attempted to be civil and endure your presence for as long as possible. It turns out I could only endure 5 days with you before losing my sanity. I'm sorry, but I'm currently on the way to the airport with Jonathan. We can't be around you any longer." Shock resonated through my core. The revelation hit me like a sudden storm, unraveling the trust I had thought was unshakable. How could our seemingly solid bond disintegrate under the weight of unspoken grievances? Questions flooded my mind as I grappled with this harsh reality. What had I done wrong? What warranted such harshness? How did things reach this point? Was there no opportunity for reconciliation? Confusion and heartache mingled within me, the pain of betrayal penetrating my soul. "I didn't know you felt this way, Cynthia, genuinely. And you had no reason to. I always led you to believe that everything was fine between us." "Why not discuss it? Why not sit down to address any issues between us? I still don't understand what I did to upset you." "That's the thing. I can't pinpoint it, but you simply bother me." "What? That's the most childish reason I've ever heard. You can't tolerate me just because of some unexplained botheration? Grow up, Cynthia. I thought I had offended you or something, but I didn't do anything wrong, right?" While it's not necessary, the crucial aspect here is not the reasons behind it. What truly matters is my perception of you, and unfortunately, I find you to be quite bothersome. I cannot tolerate being in your presence. If that's the case, why did you agree to join us on this trip? Well, it was an opportunity for a free trip to Italy, and who would decline that? However, as the days passed, I became increasingly weary of your behavior. What actions, Cynthia? What transgressions of mine were so egregious that you chose to abandon me in an unfamiliar land? Answers to my inquiries were elusive, intensifying my impatience amid this unexpected hostility. Shock, hurt, confusion, and anger swirled within me, yet the prevailing emotion was an overwhelming sadness. It became imperative for me to confront my husband and comprehend his perspective. "I'd like a casual conversation with Jonathan," I requested, and Cynthia handed him the phone. Jonathan, displaying a disinterested and cold demeanor akin to his mother, greeted me with a nonchalant, "Hello." Expressing my dismay, I questioned, "Seriously, Jonathan, did you choose to leave me as well?" His response was matter of fact. "I didn't leave you because I dislike you. I left because my mom needed me to take her home." His revelation left me astounded. "So, you were aware of all this? How long have you known about your mother's apparent disdain for me?" Jonathan conceded, "For some time now. I hoped this trip would bring her closer to you, but I was wrong." Frustrated, I probed why neither of them had approached me earlier. After all, we were adults. Issues should be resolved through communication. Jonathan maintained a stoic silence, echoing his mother's earlier reticence. Frustrated by their lack of openness, I speculated that his mother's animosity was unfounded, perhaps fueled by jealousy. Unable to articulate her irrational resentment, I wondered if she envied something beyond her grasp. Confronting them, I inquired if my assumption held, but their continued silence validated my suspicions. Shocked by their tacit acknowledgement, I expressed my disbelief. "I had no inkling of your feelings toward me. Wishing you a safe flight back home," I declared before ending the call. Pacing around the hotel room, I grappled with the situation, questioning what I had done to merit such treatment. It dawned on me that people sometimes harbor baseless resentment out of jealousy or bitterness. After a period of sobbing, I experienced an epiphany. Reflecting on the moment, I took control of my destiny and decided to seek retribution against those who had wronged me unjustly. It marked a crucial juncture, a moment destined to alter the trajectory of my life indefinitely. As tears were wiped away, a newfound determination surged within me. I resolved not to squander any more of my precious emotions on the pitiful actions of others. It was time to demonstrate that they could not trample over my heart with impunity. With quivering fingers, I dialed the number of my lifelong friend Brian, a steadfast companion through the highs and lows of life. Entrusting him with my innermost secrets, I bared the wounds of a painful betrayal experienced in Italy. Carefully, I sought his assistance in my pursuit of justice. Brian, unwavering in loyalty and mischief, attentively absorbed my narrative. His voice resonated with a blend of concern and excitement as he reassured me of his unwavering support. Recognizing my resilience, he declared me a formidable force, ready to stand by me in any endeavor. Intrigued by my plans, he urged me to divulge. I unveiled a scheme involving the strategic utilization of surplus sawdust from Brian's construction company. Acknowledging the brilliance of the idea, Brian commended its subtlety and recognized its potential as a poignant reminder of the turmoil inflicted upon my life. With determination and expertise, we set our intricate plan in motion. Concerns about gaining entry to the house before their return arose, and Brian provided a solution: a spare key discreetly placed under the potted plant on the patio. Marveling at my meticulous planning, he admired my resolve not to be toyed with. I vowed to respond to their childish actions in kind. As time elapsed, anticipation swirled within me, and Brian assured me that the mission was accomplished. Soon, I would witness the aftermath of our meticulously orchestrated chaos. Brian's message, accompanied by images, depicted Cynthia's once immaculate home transformed into a post-apocalyptic wasteland of sawdust, a tangible representation of the chaos in our lives. Dialing Brian, his laughter reverberated through the phone, merging with my own. A cathartic release, a shared triumph against those who had betrayed me. Conveying heartfelt gratitude to Brian for embarking on this mischievous journey with me, he quipped, "Naughty can be so satisfying, my friend." As the clock ticked away, tension built within me. How would Jonathan and Cynthia react to the scene awaiting them in their once-beloved home? The anticipation was almost unbearable, a potent mix of nerves and vindication. I savored the prospect of witnessing their bewildered expressions and tumultuous emotions upon their return. Hours later, my phone erupted with frantic energy. It was Jonathan. His voice conveyed panic and disbelief as he described the sawdust-laden house, a tangible testament to the repercussions of their betrayal. My heart swirled with a wicked delight as I absorbed the exasperated tones in his voice. It was the moment of realization, a stark acknowledgement that the message had reached its intended target. Their actions, once careless and chaotic, now bore the weight of consequences. Jonathan's panicked words resonated like sweet music to my ears, validating the power I had meticulously reclaimed. "Oh, Betty, it's just awful. Mom is in hysterics," he lamented. I chose that moment to disclose my role in this unfolding drama. "It serves both of you right. How could you leave me here alone without a valid reason, no less?" "Wait, Betty, was this your doing?" The wailing and panic in the background ceased, replaced by a sense of inquiry. I approached Jonathan's phone as my mother-in-law demanded, "Give me that," before unleashing her anger. "How could you do this to us? To me?" With a feigned innocence, I replied, "I have no idea what you're talking about. Have you considered that this is just your karma?" "Oh, come on, Betty. We all know it was you. Who else would have access to my home?" "It's very easy to break in and enter someone's home nowadays, Cynthia, especially if you don't have any security cameras installed. You should seriously consider doing that to prevent things like this from happening again." "Honestly, Betty, how can you do this to us? When are we supposed to sleep? This sawdust is making my lungs ache." "Oh, that's right. You probably forgot to get the keys to my house, huh? Well, that's a shame. I'm guessing you two are going to have to stay in yet another hotel." "But for how long until I decide to come back from my vacation? I mean, I paid for 10 days after all, and who knows, I might feel greedy and decide to extend my stay." Jonathan took the phone and Cynthia began to cry once again, mourning her ruined furniture. "Betty, this was foul. How could you do this?" "I don't know why you're assuming that I had anything to do with this. I mean, how could I? I'm currently relaxing in the hotel jacuzzi. How could I have done this?" I stifled my laughter, reveling in their confusion. even though they suspected my involvement. Lacking concrete proof, they were frustrated, and I bid Jonathan farewell on the phone. A sense of contentment washed over me. I had taken control of my narrative, leaving them to grapple with the consequences of their actions. I acknowledged the foulness and potential danger, especially for Cynthia's health, but I knew they wouldn't dare stay in that sabotaged house. They were forced to extend their stay in a hotel while I enjoyed an extra week in Italy. As my husband and mother-in-law undoubtedly worried, attempting to find a cleaning company for the daunting task, I remained unfazed. I didn't know how long it would take to get the house professionally cleaned, but in the meantime, my mother-in-law would have to endure staying with us. I knew she'd be irritated the whole time, unable to stand my company. This serves as a reminder that some people need to learn the hard way. If you can mete out your justice, then go ahead and do it, giving people something substantial to be upset about.